Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make a book for KDP. This book is going to be a pattern paper book and I'm going to be using a program called Repper. If you'd like to know how I go about doing this, then make sure you stick around and watch the video. First thing I'm going to do is head to the computer and I will meet you there. So the paper pack that I'm wanting to make today is going to be around love. So lots of pinks and kind of like a Valentine's Day theme, I guess. And what I need is a source file that I can use when I go into Repper. So what I'm going to do over here is just organize some shapes in Canva. Just while I'm building up a source file using Canva, I'll let you know that there is a link to Repper down in the description below and you are able to get a free trial, but I'll talk more about that later. All right, that'll do. So I'm just going to download that now as a JPEG, high quality. I am increasing the quality as the better the image that you take into Repper, the better the outcome you're going to have. And now I'm going to head across into Repper. Now this is Repper. I'm going to make a new collection and call this one Valentine. And I'll be able to upload my image, which should be, so here's my image that's been uploaded, and as you can see there's a little viewfinder here, and as I move that around the image itself changes, so I get lots of different pattern types happening here. Now this is not AI, this is mathematical. This program is all based on mathematical geometric elements, so you can use this and not have to worry about having to say that yes, it's from AI. And when you find a pattern that you like, now up here I just use the slider to go in and out. You can add this here with the plus sign. So there we go, there's one I actually quite like, and as you continue to move it around you get more and more patterns that you can make with this software. So it's a bit of fun. So as I move around and I will be able to get probably my whole set of papers from this one image. Other things that you can do up here where it says tiling, so you've got a whole bunch of choices here, and if I just roll my mouse across over the top of these, you'll see that the pattern type changes. So you get some really nice views and patterns there. You can do seamed patterns as well depending on what you've got. I've got a few geometric shapes in here, so these will turn out really quite well as well. And then if you want to get really tricky, let's get back out of that, then you can come into effects and you can do color adjustments, change it to black and white. You can come down here to metamorphosis and you can make changes where you get kind of gradients like this. So if you're downloading this, for example, for some print on demand, you could put this around a tumbler or a mug, something like that. All right, you can add in surface borders, so you can play around with so many different options here to get so many different patterns. But for the purposes of my task here today, I'm just wanting to create a set of pattern papers that I can put into a paper pad and I can upload that to KDP. So that's what I'm doing with this one here. So I'm going to go ahead and create my different patterns. Alright, so I've got about 25 different designs from here. So if I go back up to the top and now I want to export them. So I come across here to export. I'm going to export them custom. You can set the size here. So here where it says inches, if I'm going to be making an 8.5 by 11 inch book, then I can put in here 8.5 and 11, and it will actually make it that size for me. You can also change up the DPI and then download that as a JPEG. Okay, I'm on the final stretches here, so I'm just exporting the last few. So 24. What I can recommend is when you are doing patterns, so this one here is really quite busy, this one here is really quite busy, make sure you're putting in a few smaller pieces like this. It kind of just, yeah, evens it out. So you can have a pattern like this, and then you can have a less busy pattern on the other side that can offset it. And obviously all of these patterns are going to coordinate because they're using the same colors and the same geometric type designs, which is pretty cool. Right, so I've got all of those in it there now. I didn't name these ones Love 1 and 2, so I just want to get that one started. Love 1 and Love 2. And these range in file size from about 1 meg up to 2.3. What's this one here? 3.3. So it just depends a lot on when you're using Repper. If you are going and using this pattern, if you look down here where it says tile size, you can see that that's really quite large. If you reduce this down, you notice that the tile size now has become really quite small. So if you're using this to create your patterns, when you go to export them, the tile size itself is going to be really quite small, and you may end up with those blurred pixelated images. Actually, I quite like that one, don't I? That's probably not too bad. I'm just going to add that one just in case I need an extra one. So yes, back in here, I'm just going to take these ones out again so that I can show you from the start. Just going to move those to trash. So in order to create my internal pages, I'm going to add in the 26 pages, or 25 pages, sorry, that I've got. So I'll just add those ones in now. And then I'm going to upload the files. So I'll come here, just make sure that I can see those. There we are. So let's just grab all of them and open them up in Canva, and then they'll start to download themselves. And then I can go up to the top and start adding them in. So once they've uploaded, if you hold it up toward the corner and drop, it will fill the page for you, so you don't have to do the filling out, which is good. So you can fit it into that corner. If you come down here into grid view, you can see the grid. It gives you an idea of what those pages are looking like, and this is where you can move things around. So if these are back to back, are they the best matches, or can you add in something else? So sometimes I try and do sort of colors, like this one here might be better to go with this one here. This one is more in line with that one. You can kind of just do a bit of a shuffle around and see what kind of fits in. So this one here might be a good one for the back of that one. So I have a bit of a play, and then once I've got those pages ready to go, then what you can do is you can click and then hold the shift key down and click, and then you can duplicate 2 pages, and then you can do your double ups. So whether or not you want 2 of each of the patterns or you want 4. If you want 4, then you're obviously going to have to do duplicate, and then you'll have those 4. And then you would click on the next 2 and you would duplicate those 3 times. So you get 4 of those, and so on. And then that way you can fill in your book. Just to note that if you are increasing the number of pages of patterns in your book, then obviously the price is going to go up. 60 is not bad in terms of what people have to pay on Amazon after you've included your royalties and also the printing costs. And printing it onto a premium paper is a really good idea, and I'll show you what that looks like now. So let me just show you another design that I had done before. So this is one that I did called Fruity Fun. So these are the internal pages, and these ones I only made 8 by 8. So if I show you the layout, I did 2 of each of the patterns, and that gave me a total of 60 pages in my book. And then if we head back out, you'll see that I have got a cover that goes with that. So this cover, I just used the KDP calculator to work out the dimensions, and then I used some of the pattern paper to put in behind, and I created these ones here with frames. These are all frames, so and I'll just show you, if I bring this over, I can drop it into the frame. So this makes it really easy. So actually, let me show you. I'll come back out. Let's do a duplicate of this one, so make a copy. Alright, so a copy of Fruity Cover. I'm just going to call this one Love Papers. I'll think of a better name later. So when I'm ready, I'll come across here and I just take out, not like that, the papers. So you can do it like this, or you can put them straight in over the top, and you'll notice that I've just created a bit of a frame page there. Okay, so just as an example, I'll rename this Love, even though I'm not doing an 8.5. I'm making this next one, I'm doing 8.5 by 11. And then if I come into my upload, so these are all the papers that I would normally have had for my other project, and then I would just bring them in and I would arrange them onto the front cover like this. Okay, and keep going until they're all finished, and then I would put some on the back because people always like to see what they might be purchasing. And then for the background itself, where you see this yellow, I just try out a couple of the other designs in behind. So I'll just drag and drop those. So I can either go something light like this, or I can use something that's got a little bit more pattern in it. And I just play around with that until I find something that I think would work really, really well for the outside cover. And that's how I do the covers. So I just basically make this the one time, and then I can come back and I can change that up. So another example of that would be in my designs, I did one for autumn colors. All right, so this is my cover for the 8.5 by 11 pages. I'm not a big fan of this cover at the moment, but these are all frames as well in here, so I can just move across. And I think I might change this one up a little bit and make these a little bit bigger on the front cover. So same thing, make the one file, move across your items as you go. Alright, so these are 2 of the books that I have uploaded to KDP. This is Creamy Bluesicle, I called it, and the Vintage Christmas. And the covers are glossy. There are only the 60 pages inside these ones, so they end up being about this thick. And inside, the pattern papers have been printed on premium paper, so I've chose the premium option, and they've turned out really lovely. So there's one with a metamorphosis. These are all being created through using Ripper. And I have put a link in the description below, which is a commissioned link. I do get a couple of dollars if you were to sign up, but you don't need to sign up straight away. You can actually go on and just do a trial, see if it's something that you'd like, and go from there. So if you don't like it, you certainly don't have to continue and subscribe. So that'll give you an idea as to the papers. So I really, really quite like these. They turned out really quite well. And then for the Vintage Christmas, same thing. So these papers also printed out on premium paper. And I love that they've got a little bit of a shine to them. I've used them in my scrapbook pages and I haven't had any problems with glue or anything like that. And I really like the vibrancy of the colours that come out with a print like this. So there you go, there's an example of what they look like as an end product. Thanks for watching the video today. I hope that this has given you a little bit of insight as to how you can use the Repper program, and also some ideas about how you might be able to use this program to create a bit of income for yourself. If you've enjoyed today's video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and I will see you in the next video.